Yo, 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 what's good? What's good? Guess who's back on the airwaves after a brief hiatus? It's your boy Chapapa TV. Still in Brazil, still in Sao Paulo. I know it's been a while. Y'all thinking like shit, it's a ghost. I got a special episode for you tonight. My boy Vlad is in the building. And before I get it started, let me see who's in here right now, What's going on with y'all? He said, why so blue? Man, I'm still trying to set up the office area and shit. So I was like, just let me fuck around with the blue lighting. What y'all think? Too blue? Too blue? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? Good evening. Big news coming out of Brazil. Yesterday, y'all heard. He said, "Go Ravens." Yeah, sure. Hey, Big Blue for the Giants. I'm from New York, but I ain't a Giants fan. But I know y'all heard the news coming out of Brazil. Eagles and Packers this September. Eagles and Packers this September, 15 minutes from the crib. I'm happy about that. Happy about that. But y'all know the drill. Hit the like button, drop a comment. Let me know who's here with me tonight. I know it's been a while that I did a live stream. We'll get into that, but got another fellow vet in the building. He's going to share his insights. I think he's actually probably been in Brazil before I have, or maybe around the same time, but we're going to get down to it. But y'all know how we start the show off. Best way we can. And let's hit the film.
Chapapa.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's your boy Chapapa TV back in the building. Sneed asked if I'm going to an NFL game. Hell yeah, I'm going. Hell yeah. Come on, what type of question is that, bro? I'm in there. The stadium is legit like 18 minutes without traffic from my crib. So I don't know if I can see the view. I'm in Zona Leste right now. 18 minutes without traffic. So I'm definitely going to that game. And yes, sir, yes, sir. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Hit that like button. All right, so let me introduce my guest for the night. This is my boy Vlad. Met him out here in Sao Paulo. Fellow veteran also. Smart. Got his 100%. Dipped out the States. And he's just doing his thing here in Brazil. But let me have y'all talk to him himself. Without further ado, my boy Vlad, what is going on? What is going on, my brother?
Much, man. I'm just chilling, man. Just chilling.
Word. All right, so give you. I didn't want to like introduce you to the people, so let the folks know who you are, you and who you be.
All right. I'm originally from Bakersfield, California, man. I was out there, went to school out there, played a little bit of football, and then after that, I didn't have any offers for. Well, I had letters, but I didn't have any offers, hard offers for football, so I decided to join the military. Went into the Navy for 4 years. I was an ABH, which is the guys who tied down the jets and send them off on aircraft carriers. So I did that for 4 years. Then after, well, my fourth year, I hurt my back, so I got out. Went to college, all paid for. Got my degree. Started doing several odd jobs here and there, gas station, and then I moved up to South San Francisco. I worked security there for about 5, 6 years, and I thought I was going to make that career. And then at some point, like a couple things went off, and I just got really disillusioned with the whole American dream. And I started looking online about military vets with disability. I met some dude in a military expat group that was living overseas here in Brazil, and he told me you qualify, just come out. So after that, I was just like, all right, man, I'm out. I dipped out, and I've been living here ever since.
Okay. All right, cool. So you said you got out, you got medically discharged. First off, thank you for your service. But what was it about, out of all the countries, have you lived in any other country besides Brazil, or is Brazil your first expat country?
No, Brazil is actually my first country that I've ever lived in or visited after the military.
Okay. So what year did you come down here?
I came down here in 2021.
2021. All right. So you came down about a year before me. Okay, because I came down in 2022. Well, that's cool, man. But why Brazil?
So like the first thing that led me to it was I met a dude on my A school, right? And he had a funny accent. I was like, man, where you from? He's like, well, I'm from Brazil. And I was just like, oh shit. He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm from Rio. And I was like, okay, well, like, what's Rio like? And he was like, you ever seen that movie City of God? And I was like, nah. So I watched the movie, but I ain't never heard Portuguese before, right? So I got hella interest. So I started picking his brain all the time. And I was just interested. I started watching all kinds of movies and documentaries about Brazil and about the culture. And then I was like looking, I saw some documentary about like the ethnic mixture here, that ethnic diversity, and that's what really caught my attention because I'm mixed. You know, my mother's white, my father's black, but I grew up in a very conservative city in California, which is funny enough called Bakersfield, where like whites only hung out with whites, and blacks only hung out with blacks, and Mexicans only hung out with Mexicans. So I was like, okay, I was like, whatever. I got to my first aircraft carrier, right, the John C. Stennis, and when I was going around other countries, it seemed like it was the same thing like Bakersfield. Everybody only stuck to themselves. And then I started doing even more research on what countries I wanted to live in because, like, you know, you get 2-3 days in port for each country, but it's not enough. Like, I wanted more. I wanted to stay there for at least 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So as I was about to get out, I was like, man, what country do I really want to live in? So as much as I was doing my research, I found out like Brazil is the most diverse country, I think, outside of Singapore in the entire world, where like people actually live together, like they mix together, they don't segregate. It's like, okay, you're in a neighborhood with like six other different ethnicities, and that's why I came to Brazil, man. It's the ethnic, you know, people embrace each other's ethnicities and cultures, and they celebrate them as well, and everybody just kind of mixes with everybody here.
Yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying about the mix. Um, Throughout my experience in all the Latin American countries that I've traveled in, Brazil is the one that has like that unity without the nationalism, right?
Right, right.
'Cause when I say that, for those of you who follow, any expats that lived in the Dominican Republic, their nationalism was all time high, right?
Mhm.
Up to a point where it got you screwed over as an expat. Um, can't speak much on Colombia, but from bouncing from Colombia to Brazil, I've seen that Colombia is a little bit more closed off than
Mhm.
Brazil in terms of Brazil. But before we get going, um, yeah, yo, you guys will be surprised to know that there's like a whole pro football league here, American football league here in Brazil, man, and it's kicking off. I'm telling you
Yeah.
guys, it's really like blowing up, man. Because for the NFL to decide that they're gonna do a game down here, I think there's about what 32 million fans, Vlad, just in
Yeah.
Brazil alone.
Yeah. It's huge.
Yeah, it's definitely huge. Like they have like their own conferences, there's teams. It's expensive to play here, because it's not like high school where you get the gear or team spot gear. You gotta buy your own stuff here, and the gear is expensive. Like shoulder pads could range anywhere from $300 to $400. Your helmet anywhere from $500 to $800. So it's expensive to play here, but there's a lot of players, there's a lot of teams, and I'm just letting y'all know, keep your eyes open, especially
Yeah.
with what I'm trying to do. I know you guys seen the short on the channel recently. Like 2 weeks ago, I was working with Jalen Ramsey. Real cool dude. Shout out to Jalen Ramsey coming down here, showing the Brazilians what to do. But Brazil is huge. All right, so first question of the night is: does your disability have to be at least 2K per month to qualify for the visa? Yes, right,
Mhm.
Vlad. I believe you and I are on the same visa, the retirement visa. For the visa, yes, you have to have an income of at least $2,000 per month to live in Brazil. So that means living here without doing the 6 months in and the 6 months out. You could stay as long as you want for that visa. And he also asks Vlad, what city you living in?
Yeah, I'm in Sao Paulo too, but I'm in a different area called Bexiga in Bella Vista, which is like I want to say about like a 10-minute walk from Avenida Paulista.
Okay, cool. So was Sao Paulo your first city here when you came to
I
Brazil?
made it a point to make it my first city because everybody wants to go to Rio, right? Everybody wants the beaches and everybody wants. I was just like, man, like, and I'm a art nerd, so like I know Sao Paulo had like a bunch of art galleries and museums, and I was like, and like graffiti on buildings and stuff. So like that was my whole thing was like priority was like I just want to see a bunch of cool art,
So wait,
everywhere I go.
so wait, you're telling me as a retired expat that you couldn't live in Rio? How come?
I mean, I could, but it was like I don't want to say like I'm a hipster, but it was like the most popular thing to do. When everybody thinks Brazil, it's always real, and I was like, nah, man, I want to live in like the biggest city in South America. You know what I mean? Because I've never been in a big city before. I never lived in a big city. Like Bakersfield is about an hour and a half above LA. So every weekend, everybody goes to LA, and after that, I got tired of it. But after like I was thinking about what it would be like to be in the biggest city in another country. You know what I mean? Like that just appealed to me. So that's why I came to Sao Paulo first.
To be honest, I feel like if you're not much of a beach person, and I may get some heat for this, but I think Rio's overrated.
I've been there. I don't know how many you caught me out on that. I've been to Rio. I don't know how many times in the past 3 months, but I've been going there like every other week. It's definitely overrated, bro. I feel like Sao Paulo's better, man. I feel like Sao Paulo's way better.
Yeah, yeah. And not to say that Sao Paulo does have beaches, but I feel like with the 2 months that I've lived in Rio, I was just so I felt better than when I was living in Dominican Republic, but just I wouldn't say I was bored, but just something was off. Like everything is far apart from each other.
Yeah,
Uh, and I get tired of like no matter where you go, it's like, oh, be careful, be careful, be careful, this and that. There wasn't
yeah,
really much to do unless you like the beach and even clubbing, bro, was like hard. But Sao Paulo, bro, you could literally walk out your apartment and then there's a boteco across the street going
yeah,
till whatever time in the morning, or you have this bar, you have this restaurant, you have this club, you have clubs on that function on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. You have the festivals, you have the concerts, you have like the Lollapaloozas, the Primavera Sounds, all that stuff. So in Sao Paulo is more to do. In Rio, bro, I just felt like it was too touristy,
yeah,
too much prostitution. Everything
yeah,
was far, and you
yeah.
really had to like try to watch yourself, not to get gringo pies. Rio's cool. Rio's cool. But just I think it's overrated, especially if you want to live there as an expat. I have two friends down there. One of them lives in Baja Tijuca. Um, but I remember like looking for an apartment in Rio before I even knew about Sao Paulo, because it was Rude that put me on to Sao Paulo. And I remember
Uh,
like looking for apartments, and I felt forced. Like, what? I don't even know what neighborhoods to go in.
right, right. It all just seemed like the same, man. Like you go to the beach during the day, you go home, take a shower, get cleaned up, get dressed up. Then you go to a samba, but everything's so far, you got to take an Uber. But then traffic is packed because you got so many people driving around, certain hours during the day. And it's either Lapa or Copacabana, and you do the same thing over and over again. And it got so tiring, bro. I was just like, bro, like after a while, I just kind of looked at my girl because she lives there, and I was just like, man, let's just order some iFood and like just kick it because I ain't trying to go nowhere right now. You know what I mean? Like, ain't jack to do. But like here in Sao Paulo, like my neighborhood, bro, like right down the block, there's like this like street, dude, and there's two bars that are like across the street from each other. There's a bar you can enter and listen to samba, and then there's a bar outside you can stand in the street and drink and dance for samba. Then you go down the street. There's another samba club down there that's way more chill. The drinks are cheaper, And then that's just Friday. And then Saturday, you go up the street from that area. There's like 3 or 4 sambas there. Like it's crazy, bro. Like my neighborhood is crazy for samba. There's always something to do. Like Tuesdays, the art galleries are free, so you get there early. You go to an art gallery. Sundays, you got. I live near Avenida Paulista, right? So Avenida Paulista is closed off from 8 a.m. till 2 p.m. So you go there, drink. They got 6, 7 bands there. They've got artists there. They've got people doing magic shows up there. Like you got everything. And Rio is just not like that, bro. Not at all.
Yeah, and the, you forgot Thursdays, bro. They get it started here in Sao Paulo on Thursdays.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It'd be jumping off on Thursdays.
Like, yo, with the happy hours, bro, it'd be a setup,
Yeah,
bro.
it'd be lit, man. And Samba's here from like what I've seen. Like people like my girlfriend was like, "Oh, Sambas are better than Sao Paulo." And I've been to like 5 Sambas with her, and I'm like, nah, 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 nah. Like y'all have no idea what Sambas are like here in Sao Paulo.
Yeah, I think Sao Paulo has it when it comes to sambas, and then you got the northeast. But chat. If anybody's joining right now, this is my boy Vlad, Navy veteran, living in Brazil. Has been in Brazil since 2021, and him and I are here to give you guys the guide and what's it been like so far in 2024 living in Brazil full time as veterans, as expats. So, ask your question. Shout out to my moderator Ricky joining the building. All good, all good. Good to see that, there's still some good going on in the DR. I appreciate that, bro. Thanks for popping in. So, Sneed asks, do you fly to Rio or you take the train? Well,
I
this one,
take a bus. I always take the bus. It's cheaper, and it's also good because it's like it gives you enough time to like you get like I always take the bus around like midnight, right? And I get there probably around like 6 in the morning, but I sleep nearly the entire time on the bus. I pass out, and then I wake up 6 in the morning. Usually checking at the hotel or Airbnb is until like 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. So I just like kick it to the beach. I go to the beach or whatever, or like maybe if I most of the time I get a hotel, so you can check in your luggage at the hotel and then kick it to the beach, which is like always get a hotel nearby. Just kick it at the beach or like a little bar along the beach for about a couple hours, or whatever. Come back, meet my girl there, and then we go up, take a shower, and then head back out and like have a
so
whole
when you
day.
say the bus, I know people think like, oh, a Greyhound bus or Caribe tours or Metro tours like DR.
Oh yeah.
I have yet to like take a bus here, but when I see the tickets, they're like 100 reais, 130, 250, blah, blah, all depending where you're going. What are the buses like? Like, what's the bus trip like for you from Sao Paulo to Rio?
I feel like the buses here are like 10 times better because I've taken buses from Bakersfield to Sacramento on the Greyhound, and that was the worst. I hated it, bro. I always told my dad, like, yo, come pick me up, man. I don't want to take the bus. But he was cheap. He always bought me a Greyhound. But the buses here are dope, man. Like they're comfortable. The air conditioning is good. They always stop at like a little road, like a little what do you call it? Like those bus stops along like highways or whatever. But they actually have restaurants, so they stop at like this place. It's called Grau. It's Graal, and like you go in there, they got full-fledged restaurants in there. They got everything you need: water, food. You can buy alcohol, but you can't bring alcohol on the bus. I tried that. They didn't
But the
allow it.
buses have like beds and Wi-Fi's and this stuff,
So,
right?
so they do have Wi-Fi. They got USB chargers. I would bring your own portable charger because sometimes those USB chargers are broken, so they don't work. That happened to me. Like my phone died, and I had to charge it at the bus station for 2 hours before I got home. And then, what do you call it? They got Wi-Fi. They do have beds, but they're expensive. So, well, expensive for Brazilians. So it's like about $100 for like a bus with an actual bed, like where you can like lean all the way back and lay down.
$100 for like what, a 6 hour trip?
Yeah, for like a 6, 7 hour trip. I think it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. If I wasn't building my house, I'd be taking those kind of bus trips all the time. You know what I mean? But
I just want to try it out once for the experience to see like, all right, if it's something I can do. Because like I said, I don't have the need to go to Rio. my boy just called me today, like, yeah, we'll come down to Rio in May for the free Madonna concert. I'm like, I don't see myself going to Rio for Madonna.
Yeah, not for Madonna, bro. Not for Madonna,
Not for Madonna, bro. But
bro.
you say you were building a house. For the people watching who have thoughts of like investing in real estate or anything like that in foreign countries, you said you're building a house here, so like from scratch.
Yeah, man. The dude who helped me get into Brazil, he was telling me, he's like, yeah, man, like you should look at buying a property here in Ceará. And I was just like, Ceará? And I was like, where is it? He's like, it's like the most northern state in Brazil. And I was like, why would I leave Sao Paulo and Rio? So he was like, he invited me over to his house, right? So he flew me out. And I'm telling you, bro, I wasn't feeling it the first time, bro. I was like, bro, there's no development in this area. Like, there's nothing to do. Like, bro, I'm not feeling this at all. Like, where are the sambas at? Where are the shopping malls at? Like, where's the clubs at? And so I wasn't really feeling it the first time, right? And after about a year and a half, he was like, hey, I want you to come out and see my other house in the building. So he's got two houses now, right? So the second house I went out to, and that's when I really felt the vision, because like it was it was peaceful, it was tranquil. The community, the condominium that he lives in is really nice. They got like this big pool, this infinity pool with a wet bar. There's a lake. They got horses. They're gonna build like a 5-star hotel out in the front for like your family, the extra family that's come to visit. So I was like, okay, like I'm down. And the process basically was, this guy had owned the piece of land that I wanted before, but he didn't make the land payments. So I had to make extra land payments on top of like the association fees and all that stuff.
You said this.
Um,
Where is this? How do you spell it? Serarai.
Ceará. It's Ceara. But it's this little fishing town called Cumbuco. Cumbuco. And I got the land. I paid for it. It's probably like, man, I want to say it had to be like $20,000. But like we went over the cost with the construction manager, and he was like, dude, the most your house is gonna cost in this lot in this beachfront area, $70,000. And he was like, I don't know where else you're gonna find that in Sao Paulo or Rio, because it's hell expensive.
So this is like Fortaleza State.
Yeah, Fortaleza is a major city there, but Cumbuco is like exactly where I'm gonna be living at.
Okay. What's so? What other parts of Brazil have you been to? Wow, this is cool. It looks city-ish, almost like
Yeah,
Rio.
they're trying to turn Fortaleza into like the next Dubai. Basically, that's what the governor said. Because it's a lot of European companies starting to come in and buy up land and invest. Um, and wait, what was the question? Sorry, my bad.
Um, like so, I said it looked a little bit like Rio almost, but where
Yeah.
else in Brazil have you visited?
So I've been to Victoria, which is in the Espírito Santo. That's a beautiful beach city. Like if you want like a really, really like if you want Rio, but just without the tourism, go to Victoria. Like it's nice. It's
That's
really
north
nice.
or south?
Huh?
That's north or south?
That's north of Rio.
I see you don't really mention south of Brazil like that a lot. What's going on with the south?
So southern Brazil is like what I've heard is like it's not only is it cold, but it's a lot of German and Italian descent, and they really don't mess with people of color down there. Like they really like I was talking to a friend. She lives in Piracicaba, she lives in the interior of Sao Paulo, like the countryside, and she's from Panama. And she was like, "Yo, I went down there, and they was like they wouldn't even talk to you. Like they like you ask for directions or something, like they won't even look your way." And I was just like, "Damn, that's crazy, bro!" Like. So she was like, she's like, it's cool to visit, but like to like spend time down there, like a lot of time down there, like nah, like don't even think about it. I was like, all right, cool, whatever.
Yeah, you're not the first person. I always, even from Brazilians, I hear that
Mm-hmm.
like strange, and then they're like, if you go to Argentina, forget about it.
Yeah. Yeah, Argentina, like from what I've seen from the soccer games, because they're having the Copa Libertadores agora now. They're having their like UEFA Champions League games here in South America.
Right.
Bro, all Argentinian fans do the whole monkey thing like every time they play against a Brazilian club, bro. And I'm just like, bro, that's
Was
crazy,
the
man.
thing last year or this year, right? Where like the Argentinians got beat up in Rio, I believe.
Yeah, man. I think was I there? They played against Boca Juniors. I was there when they played against Boca Juniors, and they were having fights. The police had to shoot out tear gas. Like my friends were like, "Yo, we can't go to this beach," and I was like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "Cause like they showed me on YouTube, like, yo, they're already having fights on the beach." I'm just like, "Damn, all right, like I'm out."
Yeah,
So yeah,
anybody in watching right now got any experience with Argentina? Then hey, racists like that,
yeah,
fuckheads.
they're hella racist, bro.
Nah,
They're hella yeah.
golly. All right, so if somebody is watching right now, right, and they're getting ready to retire, or maybe they're a veteran working on a disability, or they want to do like the half and half, so work remote, live in another country. If they wanted to come to Brazil first time, like you were, like what you did is a little hard,
Crazy.
not crazy. To me, I think Portuguese is harder than Spanish to learn. Definitely harder than Spanish to learn. And you
Yeah,
came here and you straight up skipped all Spanish countries and you came straight to Brazil. And Brazil is like, you know, not for the weak. It's definitely like one of those countries where you gotta hit the ground running. It don't
right.
matter how old are you, your age, where you're from. I'm not saying Brazil is hard, but it's definitely one of those things where like you need to have like some type of experience with Latin America and a lot of common sense with living overseas. So if somebody were to like, be in a position like, hey, I wanna become an expat or work remote overseas and I'm choosing Brazil, where would you recommend they go first to
In
live?
Brazil, it's still gotta be Sao Paulo, bro. It's still gotta be because it's a lot more safer than Rio, from what I feel like. But the expat community here, like I really didn't rely too much on the expat community here. It was just for information. Like I just used them for information. Like, okay, what do I need? I need a CPF, right, which is my social security number, and I need to register myself within so many days at the Policia Federal. So it's just questions, and they help out a lot. But as far as in like understanding, like the first thing was like language, right? So I had a Portuguese teacher. I still have a Portuguese teacher 6 months before I came here, but that didn't help for jack shit because I didn't really memorize anything. I just all I knew was say hey, hello, my name is Vladimir, right? So what I did was I would go to these little cafes and I would literally just sit and listen to how people talked and how they replied to each other. And I do that every morning for breakfast. And I would send those messages or those phrases back to my Portuguese teacher, and he would send them back, and I would memorize. Right, so that helps a lot. Another thing I did was as when I started to get more confident in those cafes, I would start conversations with the people working there. And I was like, hey, what does this mean? What does that mean? And they'd like explain to me, like, oh, okay, I got it, I got it, I got it. And then I would just build off of that. The other thing is exploring. Like I wouldn't even have a location. I would just wake up and I would just go walking and I'd be like, oh, this street looks interesting. And I would go down that street until I found a store or restaurant. I would walk in. You have to lose your ego when you do this shit. Like don't worry about messing up. Don't worry about people laughing at you or whatever. Just have fun with it. And you walk in like, oh, what is this? Or what is that? Or how much is this? How much is that? And then once they understand, because they'll know right off the bat that you're not Brazilian, you're not from there. And they're like, oh, where are you from? I'll be like, oh, I'm from California. Like, oh, California, blah, blah, blah. And then like, you start a dialogue. And in that place, I know that I was safe. I could go to back again, and I would just do the same thing over again. Like the next week, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hit up this shop. this day, this shop that day, and I'll just start conversations. Um, the other thing is other tips. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think.
So, Sneed asks, any good website search for an apartment. How did you get your how did you find your place down here? And what people don't know is that the contract situations for apartments could be very, very
Uh,
tricky. If you want to
you,
explain what's going on with that,
bro, my situation was so messed up. So in order for me to get my tax number, I had to wait 6 months, right? So there's a website called Quinto Andar,
Quito Andar.
right? Which shows all the apartments available all throughout Brazil. But because I didn't have my tax number, I couldn't rent an apartment, and I had to wait 6 months for it. So those first 6 months, every month I was charging my credit card for an Airbnb, like maxed out, just to get an Airbnb. So every month I was moving for 6 months. It sucked, right? The last apartment I got to was the apartment that I'm in now, which is a really good apartment. So if anybody's interested, like, yo, hit up free and I'll give you guys the details. But she, like, I guess she had a tenant, right? We were about to pay for another Airbnb. So I guess she had a tenant lined up for like a month or 2 weeks and like canceled on her after 2 days. And she hit me up, the landlord, and she was like, "Hey, yo, like my person just canceled without any warning. Like, did you want to like buy like pay for a couple weeks or whatever?" I was like, "Look, like I'm trying to rent an apartment, but I don't have my tax number yet." She's like, "No, that's cool. Like, don't even worry about it. Like, when you have your tax number, like we'll formalize it or whatever. Cool." So that's how I got my apartment. I got lucky, because I would have spent like another 2 months trying to max out my card for an Airbnb.
Yeah, but what might throw people off here is like the length of contract terms that they require here in
Yeah,
Brazil. If you're not careful,
the normal minimum I've gotten here was like 2 years.
and that's normal, bro. For
Yeah, that's
me,
normal.
I got lucky my first two apartments. So first one was 12 months, and then the second
Mhm.
one was 6 months. While I was like, you know what? Because at that time I was like, all right, do I stay in Sao Paulo? Do I go somewhere else? That's when I
Right,
picked Natal, and then I didn't like Natal, so I was like, all right, my 6 months are up. I gotta stay. Where I'm at now, this contract is for 30 months, but I have the option of leaving after 15. So
right,
that's also important. Like make sure you guys are aware of the contracts and what you're doing and how long and this and that, and if there's any penalty for leaving early. And like Vlad said, it's hard as hell to get an apartment here without the tax ID number. I got lucky as hell because the agent I was working with for my first apartment, he was a cool dude from Chile. So I consider myself very, very, very lucky.
mm,
But it's definitely hard, as a foreigner, if you don't have all your documents in place, it's gonna be hard to find a place unless you're gonna come out like three deposits at least.
right, right. That's exactly what I paid. It was like 3 months in advance. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, I'll be happy to move out of here, bro. Because I was just like struggling, bro. I was like looking, and then like once I got this apartment, she kind of gringo taxed me. She gave me the gringo rent price, which was like a 0.5% higher than what everybody else is paying around me. So I was kind of heated, but at the same time, like I don't want to pick up everything and move again because I was tired of moving for those six months in a row, bro. I was like, bro, I can't keep doing this shit. Like I gotta find a spot. So thankfully, it's cheap, but I could have found cheaper.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So when you say cheap, what is rent for you right now?
Right now, rent is about what 28.59 reais, which is what in dollars. Hold on, let me find that out.
2,850 reais.
So I'm paying like $561, which is cheap. Don't get me wrong. I'm from California, bro. That's dirt cheap.
Could be cheaper, especially in Bella Vista.
Yeah, yeah, especially in Bella Vista, people tell me like you could pay like 1,200 reais, which is like less than half that. You know what I mean? For like a 2 bedroom apartment. So I didn't know that, and I was just, I thought I would never find an apartment at the time. So I'm grateful for what I have.
So you say you didn't know that. What are if you could tell yourself some things that you learned along the way in the beginning, living in Brazil, or if you could give anybody some advice, for the first time, what would you tell yourself if you
I'll
were
say
to
that
take everything you know now and go back to 2021?
the first thing is I know at the time I think it was because of COVID. Maybe my tax number came late, but try to get it as soon as like apply for it as soon as you get in. Like maybe not the first day, but at least the second day after you got some rest. Like apply for your CPF. Second thing is once you get your CPF,
Losing you, Vlad, on the internet.
hold on, is it good?
Yeah, he's still frozen.
All right, hold on.
I'll be able to tell once you start moving again. But for the tax number, guys, it's the CPF. So the CPF is basically like the way I could break it down easily for you guys. It's kind of like the Brazilian Social Security number, but with the CPF, you use it literally for everything. You could use it at a restaurant. You can use it at the supermarket. You can use it
Mhm.
literally for everything. And with that, they like track like what you're paying, how much you're spending, and then that goes to help you, from banks, credit systems, cars, apartments. So I never used to use my CPF a lot, bro. It's up to the point now I use my CPF on everything. I go to the supermarket and I buy lemons. I'm like, they like, hey, you CPF no nota. I'm like, yes, I use my CPF for everything, bro.
Well, sometimes you get discounts on the stuff you buy if you use your CPF too, man. They'll give you discounts. It's
Mm,
not a whole lot, but I mean, hey, man, discount's a discount. I'll take it.
mm. Yeah. So continue what you were saying now with the things you would tell yourself learning now in Brazil.
Okay, at least the first week you land in Brazil, apply for your CPF. Second thing is once you get your CPF, apply for your bank account here, open up a bank account here, and then third thing would be is get your it's not health insurance, but it's like it's called a SUS. It's a free health clinic, and it's free. So when you get sick, you like there's some medicines you don't have to pay for. Like I remember one time I had a real bad sore throat, and I had a SUS account because my ex girlfriend helped me, and like they hooked me up with like a bunch of free medicine. After you get a SUS, oh, you need to get your SIM card. That'd be the second thing I get. Get a SIM card. Get a SIM card here because it'd be cheaper. I know you have an American phone plan, but if you don't have like an international plan where you get like so many minutes roaming or whatever,
The data,
um,
man. But I
yeah.
couldn't get my own SIM card. Like, so I think for like maybe the first year, maybe first 6 months, I had a friend in Rio. She had to like keep refilling my phone plan for me because she
Oh,
got the
bro.
SIM card through her name because I couldn't get a SIM card because I didn't have a CPF. And then once I got my CPF was new. So that's definitely important, folks. If you get your CPF, your Brazilian tax ID number, start using it early. And then I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
ended up getting an eSIM.
Oh, yeah. eSIM works too. If you can get an eSIM, yeah. Um, I lost so many phones since I've been here. And so I don't have like an American phone like SIM card or whatever. So now I just buy Skype. So like if you just having a Brazilian SIM card, you can get like an American phone number with Skype. It's like I think it's like $9 a month or like $9.99 a month for like unlimited calls or something like that. So as long as you have data, you're good or Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I'm about to start using Skype myself because I use the text apps to keep an American number, but the service on the text app like
Is bad,
sucks.
huh?
Like the app itself is like isn't the greatest. So I think Skype is more reliable if you have that data. But like I said, eSIMs are important. A lot of these phones now, they start to offer eSIM. So eSIM plan is great. Before we continue on your list, Sneed asks, did you bring a girl or did you meet here in Brazil?
No, I met here in Brazil. Hold on, I gotta charge my phone, bro. Over here. I met my every woman I've dated here. I met them over here.
What
Um,
has it been like for you in Brazil so far?
dating here's been like a mixed bag, like because it took me a while to find out who and who I should not be kicking it with. You know what I mean? Like I really didn't have like a point of reference. So like
Ex-
the first chick, huh?
Explain. You gotta give us some examples.
All right. So the first chick I dated, right? Her name's Anna. I had no idea where she was from. I had no idea, about her family situation. So I met her on Avenida Paulista, right? She works at a little beer vending cart, right? So I used to go there and drink like every Sunday, and we got to flirting, whatever, blah blah blah. Come to find out, she's from the favelas. She's got three kids. One of her daughters had a kid on the way, and I was just blindsided, bro. I had no idea, bro. The only redeeming factor she had was is she helped me out with everything, my CPF, my health card or whatever, and she helped me get the apartment that I'm in now. So like I give her props for that. Like she hooked me up because there's a lot of women here in Brazil. I know a dude who like he had been with her for like 5 years. He still didn't have a CPF. He was just transferring money to her account
Oh
every
nah.
month. Yeah,
What is he doing?
yeah, bro. He didn't know a lick of Portuguese. He was he was just so reliant on her for everything, bro. And he's lucky. He's lucky she didn't like screw him over because she could have taken
Lucky.
him for everything he's got.
Lucky. Is he still with her?
Yeah, they're married now.
Uh, um, don't do that, folks. I
Yeah,
mean,
don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's definitely worth it to learn Portuguese. The second chick I dated, she is like the typical chick from Sao Paulo in that like it's funny because they say friends with benefits, but it's not really friends with benefits. It's like y'all are in a relationship, but y'all not really in a relationship. It's so weird, bro. It's so weird. I'm talking about I'm
so the word for that here is like Ficanchi, and it's
yeah,
very popular here. I don't want to generalize and say Brazil, but definitely Sao Paulo is very
it's
very popular
definitely a
here.
self follow thing, and it messed me up so bad because I'm like, wait, you're calling me baby and love, and like every time we meet or text or whatever, and like you're treating me like as if we're in a relationship. Like she's sleeping over my place, I'm sleeping over her place sometimes. We're going out to like cookouts with her friends. She's going to barbecues with my friends, and then like one day she's like, "Oh, I don't want to date anymore." And I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, I thought we was in relationships." She's like, "No, it was just friends with benefits." I'm like, "Yo, like, I was just so thrown off, bro. I was just so thrown
Yo,
off."
that movement is so nuts out here, bro.
Yeah,
Like
it's like classic stuff.
like like
Women
like
so far.
like fellas and ladies because it happens both ways out here.
Yeah,
Imagine you somebody, bro, and they like demand all the demands of that comes in a relationship. You guys are
yeah,
going out, spending time together, PDA, that all this stuff, but it's nothing serious. Just
yeah,
knowing it can end at any minute. Like you're
bro.
just a body. Well, dating. Would you agree with me when I say that dating in Brazil, dating a Brazilian is not for the weak?
It's not, bro. It's not, dog. But you know what? Also, I think it is. It's culture, but it's also like the woman, the person, right? Because like my girl now, right? She's from Rio.
Shout out to
She's
Razor
a
Rays.
what's up? And she's a teacher. She teaches children right at elementary school, right? And everybody like it was funny because when I was here, it was like women was just like, man, the dating. I'm so messed up mentally right now just trying to think about this shit. So, anyways, there's a huge stereotype about women in Rio that they just be sleeping with everybody, right? Like you
Uh,
can't trust people in Rio. My woman is like the most dedicated woman, like most committed woman I've ever met since I've been here. The other women I've met here, right? It's like you want the ones that you want to be in a relationship, they just want to hook up. The ones that want to hook up with you, like the ones you just want to hook up with, they want to be in a relationship with you. You can never in Sao Paulo, you can never find a woman who just wants to be with you like in a relationship, period. Like it's just like if you cool with just hooking up, okay, cool. But like you will be confused because she'll be doing things that only women in relationships do. And it
bro.
messed me up so
Bro,
bad, bro.
I've had to cut off like put my foot down, cut off a few girls because of that, bro. Where I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
it's not making sense what you're asking for and giving back. It's not making sense, bro. I've had
Yep.
to like, legit cut off. Like that's just a waste of time to me. And
Yeah, man.
they don't want to admit it, but it's a little bit toxic if you think about it.
It is. It's like they want everything except for like the title, and it's like, yo, we might as
Not
well
even the
be
title,
together.
but just the commitment. So it's like you
Right.
want me to give you the 1,000%, and then the next day you could just boom gone. So there goes your
Yep.
time, whatever you invest in this person. Nah, but
Yep.
it's a little bit dating out here is not for the weak, fellas. If you do the P for P, that's your thing. You keep it short. Dating out here
Right.
is not for the weak.
And it was funny because I met up with the second chick, right? I just like I was taking her out to dinner because I missed her birthday, and she had seen a picture of me and my girl on like my stories or whatever. She was like, "Oh, you have a girlfriend now?" And I was like, "Yeah," and like she like couldn't believe it the whole time. She was like, "Wow, I can't believe you have a girlfriend," blah blah blah. And I was like, "See, I knew this would happen. I knew this because I was the one who wanted the relationship. But now that I don't need you or I don't want you, now you over here tripping about me with some other chick. Like it's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
Nah, it's I just say be careful, bro.
Yeah, be careful. Like
And
make sure
especially
like
like I know you remember earlier I mentioned like my problem with Rio is like very heavy on the prostitution
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like undercover prostitution too. Up to the point where like I went to this samba. It was around Villa JK, and I met this girl, right? And we was vibing. We exchanged numbers, and then number one red flag in South America, any country. I don't care if it's Dominican, not South America, Latin America. I don't care if
Mm,
it's Dominican Republic, Colombia, Panama, whatever. If a girl says her job, if she lists her first job as an online store or her
nah,
online tienda, red flag. Signal they playing. Signal the
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
plane.
yeah,
That's a red flag right there. So I
yeah,
met this girl, fine as hell. I'm like, yeah, get her number. We texting. I'm like, yo, what's up? Let's go out to dinner and try to get to know you some more. She's like, oh, well, I'm having a money situation right now with my online store, this and that. And I have a lot of stuff to take care of. And I'm like, all right, cool. Thank you for sharing that with me. But if we go out to dinner, I'll cover it this time. And she's like, oh, well, I feel uncomfortable leaving the house without money. And then there's the but.
yeah.
The but is, but sometimes I do this thing called acompañante.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I see where it's going, but I'm like, you know what? Let me let her tie the noose around her own neck. She's like, yeah, acompañante. That's like when you pay me for going out with you, and then we go to a place, and then I hang out with you. Da da da. It could be like for an hour or two. So, and I want to see if I still have the conversation, bro, because the way I left this girl on seed. Let me see.
You still got it?
Yeah, I still got it. So, so I said, basically, I'm paying for you just to sit at my side. She's like, yeah, basically that. She's like, and
Nah.
I'm like, wait. I'm like, no. You can't be this stupid. I asked her again. I'm like, so I'm reading it from Portuguese. I'm like, so just so I can be clear what's going on, I pay you. You sit at a bar with me for an hour. We eat and drink, and then after that, you go home. And she's like, yeah. She's like, for example, it could be more than 1 hour. It could be a bar, a restaurant, whatever place I accept to go that you like.
Wow. Uh,
She's like, I'm
wow.
fun. She's like, I'm very fun. I'm smiley. I'm sympathetic. Da da da. I left her on scene after that.
Yeah, nah, bro.
So that's and thank you, Ricky. That's my point exactly. That's my point exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Ricky knows. Yeah.
That's my point, bro. What I tell you,
That's wild, bro. You know what's funny though? I know a dude who was such a simp. He was doing that in Rio, bro. He was doing that. He would go to post 5 and 6 because he said that's where all the women that were working, right? The working women would hang out at. And like he was getting all these women's numbers. I'm like, damn, bro, you're a player. And then come to find out, I was like, oh yeah, she wants to hang out with me for like $150, 150 reais, 200 reais for the day. And I'm just like, what do you mean hang out with you? He's like, oh yeah, she's a prostitute. I'm like, why are you even doing that? He was like, because I ain't got to do this or that. I was like, bro, just go to a samba. Bro, you go to a samba, you don't need game, bro. They're looking at you. They make eye contact. You go talk to them, get their number, make out or whatever. And like, that's it. You don't need game, bro.
fellas, if you're at the point where you need to pay someone to go sit at a bar if you're a restaurant and you cover the bill, just stay home.
Yeah, yeah. Don't even head out. Don't even head out.
Just stay home. Don't even go out. But I was surprised, bro, because this samba event I went to, I have to, I gotta get the name of the band. But I went with my boy, but like, it wasn't cheap to get into. It was like
How
three
much?
hundred guys, open bar.
Oh, open bar. Well, what time? What time did they start? Did you?
No, it wasn't open bar. It wasn't open bar. It was like 300 reais to get in, bro. Because it was
Man,
like this big band. But that's another thing too that I want to warn people about. Like they hunt. Like the pros, they will go to these events where you think it'll be a known person, and it's a pro because they're hunting for
yeah,
that cash. So like Ricky said, there's too many real ladies out here for that, bro. So
yeah.
like,
What?
but dating, like I said, here in Brazil is you gotta be on your P's and Q's.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but like Samba's like you don't need like I remember people talking about like you need game in Brazil, but no, you don't, bro. Just go do a samba, bro. Some girl starts looking you up. Like the sambas in my hood, they're the best, bro. You just want to pick up a woman, take them back home, they're the best. Like ain't playing no games. You talk to them, oh, I'm not interested. But like I've had chicks where I hit them up like, yo, hey, what's up, blah blah blah. I saw you looking at me. I didn't know if I knew you. They're like, no, no, no. But like my friend, she's interested in you. I got hooked up with her friend. Like you ain't need to pay 150 reais, 200 reais for some BS, bro. Hell no.
That's one thing I appreciate about Brazil, like how straightforward the people, well, most people could be.
Yeah,
Like you say, you could go somewhere, you could be at a bar, you could be at a party, and I'm sure you guys know kissing culture is huge here, but like you could just be anywhere, and then somebody's like giving you the stare, and then they're just like, oh, I'm just looking at you, I think you're attractive, and I was wondering if I could give you a kiss. It, it's
yeah,
it's like that here, bro. That's what I said. It has to be the most open country in all of Latin America.
yeah.
Because what happens here, it ain't happening in DR, it ain't happening in Brazil,
Right.
not happening in Panama, Costa Rica, Chile. It's definitely open. So what was like getting what were some culture shocks for you living in Brazil?
I think the biggest one was like I think the biggest one, man, was like there was the kissing culture, bro. That messed me up. Like my first carnival,
Also,
because like I didn't expect like what I knew about carnival is like people dancing, partying, drinking in the streets, right? Cool, whatever. Like I was expecting like to walk down the street and see somebody kissing with somebody, and then the next thing you know, those people are kissing other people, and I was like, yo, what the hell? Like this is weird. Like what are y'all doing? So I really didn't understand all that. My friend, my Portuguese teacher had to explain that to me. So I got used to that. It was just different because I had never seen nothing like that before ever. The other culture, what do I want to say, man, is man, I don't have too many surprises, man. Oh, the other thing is Carnival is like period is like you get 2 weeks of like nobody's sleeping, everybody's just dancing, drinking. Like I remember I partied for like 5 days straight, bro. Probably slept an hour each day. Took a quick shower, headed back out. And on the fifth day, bro, like my back was so tore up. I was telling my friends, like, yo, I can't go out. They was like, yo, just take some painkillers and come out with us, bro. Like, we got a samba. It's 8 a.m. Like, you're late. I was like, yo, like, this is crazy, bro. Like, they party, man. They party hard. And Rio, they party hard. And Salvador, it's even crazier. I want to go to Salvador, man, but I think I might be too old for that.
yeah, me too. I want to go because I heard it's the best one in the country.
Yeah, man. I've seen, like, entire streets just flooded full of people for hours. Like, nobody's taking breaks. Everybody's drinking. Um, what's another thing? Oh, New Year's is dope, man. New Year's is dope.
Everybody goes to New Year's.
Everybody goes to the beach for New Year's and Christmas. Everybody goes to the beach on Christmas. Like that's a huge deal. Um, if you're like in my neighborhood, like we have a really strong like black community here, and like when it's somebody's birthday party, kid, woman, child, whatever, like the whole neighborhood comes together, and the whole street is just filled with people celebrating that person's birthday. It's a really big deal here. Um,
I think one culture shock for me is that how nice the people could be, receptive.
yeah,
And what else? The driving here, I spoke too soon. I complimented the driving here in Brazil. The driving here sucks also.
yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It's like California. They drive like they're in California, man.
Driving here sucks, but a big culture shock for me, it wouldn't be the kissing. It just like the friends with benefits thing threw me off a little.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's weird.
the stuff about contracts, rental contracts, like the length of them, that threw me off. Uh, and just like the inner country traveling, like like people will like legit go spend a weekend in another city, another state, and then it's weird. It's like not a lot of people really go crazy about traveling outside the country because Brazil itself
Right.
is huge. There's
It's
a
all
lot. There's a lot to do. I appreciate them for that.
yeah,
There's,
man. I always have like friends. They go to like this place, this beach called Ubatuba, like every 6 months, man, and it's like the biggest trip. And like and they got money. I'm like, why don't y'all go to like Panama or Chile or Peru or any other places? Like, we don't want to go that far. And I'm just like, all right, well, whatever. Then I got some other people. No, it's always within Brazil. Bahia is like a big one. Everybody's telling me I got to go to Bahia. I haven't been yet.
haven't been in Bahia. Lots of
No,
people love Bahia. Like Brazilians and stuff, they love Bahia. They love
yeah,
Salvador. I'm actually going up north. I'm going back to the northeast um, next month. I'm going to Parabai. Para,
Paraíba, Paraíba. I think it's
Paraíba.
Paraíba.
It's like right around Recife and Natal.
Right.
But I'm going to go scout once again, folks. I'm gonna go scout the Northeast, see if I can live there. But you know, just things about Sao Paulo. Like there's a lot of pros when it comes to living in Sao Paulo, like the airport, number one,
Yeah,
because if I want to fly out the state to another country, I always have to fly out of Sao Paulo. Like
yeah,
you'll notice that too when you move up north. If you want to fly to the states or wherever, you're gonna have to fly back down to Sao Paulo. So that's like 3 hours flying south and then
mm,
flying back. That shit. I think that was one thing that stopped me from moving to Natal last year.
oh,
But
for real?
yeah, but I want to give it another chance. I want to give another state, another city here in Brazil a chance, and then that's the freedom that we have of just being able to live down here. No problem. If we don't like one city, we just pack up and go to another.
Exactly, exactly. Especially as a vet. Oh, another benefit of being a vet down here in Brazil, bro, is let's say you have like a medical procedure or something. You can take that bill if you get the invoice of that bill and send it to like your VA that you're registered at. They could possibly comp you for like what you paid. They'll pay you back for it. That they told me that once you, because I have 100% disability. I don't know what the other guys have. I know you and me got 100%, but like they told me, it's like, yeah, if you have an invoice, like just mail it to us or fax it to us, and like we'll handle it. I was like, oh shit, all right.
I didn't know that. Let me see what Ricky said. He said, I don't know, man. I like the city life best. You should start investing in a condo so you can vacate up there. But the city life is unbeatable, in my opinion. It is, bro, but just hmm, I don't know, just the energy. It's
Yeah,
one of those things you won't understand, but it's like each state, each city has its own different energy and vibe.
right. I'm from Bakersfield, California, bro. So like, you already know that's not like a LA. You know, I'm from an hour above LA. We got nothing but farms and oil fields. So I lived here for 2 years. It's not me. Like city life was cool, but it's not me. But when I go to like Kumbuko, bro, and like you're just like my house is gonna be built in a condo by the beach, and you go that there's a couple resorts there that are super nice, man, and it's just like that chill vibe. And I can fly down here anytime I want. It's not that far, maybe 3 4 hours at the most. Come down here, come down to Rio and kick it. But like
Nah,
I don't know,
that's
man.
that's kind of 3 4 hours that you're still in the country. That's kind of far, bro.
Yeah, it's far, but it's like I don't know. I feel like it's definitely worth it to have like that peace of mind, at least for me, man, where I can just relax. You know, come to the city, party, drink, blah blah blah, and then just go back, lay in a hammock. You know what I mean, on my terrace or whatever, and just watch TV on the hammock, drinking beers. Like I'm gonna be chilling. So
Yeah. So, you're building your house from scratch. Do
yeah.
you have to go through like any bureaucracy, or what's that like for you? Like getting your own material, the workers.
So my friend, he's also former military. He's Army, I think. He's retired, and he's been helping me out during the entire process. So basically, I have to have somebody draw up the plans. I have to submit those plans to the president of the condominium, right? He approves it. He thinks it checks out. It's like, okay, cool. Now we take that to the city where they have to approve it there. Once it's approved there, then we can start construction.
Damn.
And the construction manager comes up with the materials, the list of materials that I have to buy, which I bought a shit ton this month. Um, and yeah, we start. I think we start next month. We start construction next month.
Would you say it's cheap to build a house here, or it's cheaper to just buy one already built?
I would say it depends. First of all, it depends on location because Sao Paulo and Rio is not cheap. But Ceará, where I'm building at, is cheap. Like my house in total, materials plus labor, is only going to be $70,000, and that's like a really nice condominium on the beach. I don't know where else you can find that in the states for 70 grand, but
Right by the beach? Nah, absolutely nowhere.
yeah.
Yeah, Ricky just answered the question. He said, "How much the bill going to cost you, and what size?"
So the size is what it's. they said it was 362 square meters. I don't know how much that is in feet or whatever, but it's a decent sized house. I'm gonna have a 3 bedroom on the first floor with like a big living room, and then up top, I'm just gonna have like a terrace, and then it's gonna have like a room. There's gonna be like an indoor room, right, for like TV and chairs and speakers, so we can watch like games and stuff or whatever. And then there's gonna be like a place on the outside where we can have tables, chairs, and hammocks and everything. And we're gonna
You
have
get
like a roof
a pool,
over
see
the
the
top.
pool.
Yeah, we're gonna have. It's not gonna be a big pool. It's gonna be like one of those like small rectangle pools. Not big, but deep enough for like 4 or 5 people to get in and like swim around. Nothing crazy, but it'll be enough at least for like a I'm single. I don't have any family. Not I have a girlfriend, but I don't have any family or kids, so that's more than enough for me.
What
And
about the land? How much you pay for the land?
I paid. See, I paid. I want to say 18,000 for the land. Yeah, 18,000. I paid 18,000 over like a 7 or 8 month period.
18,000 US or AS?
US.
Okay.
But that's because the dude was late on his land payment, so I had to pay his land payments plus my land payments on top of
What
that.
the hell?
Yeah, because he was the owner. He was the owner of the land, but he wasn't making the land payments, and he didn't want to. He didn't want to build a house there anymore. So like he was like, I'll sell it to you if you pay my back pay. And I was just like, all right, whatever. It was the cheapest deal there because the other deals it was like 50,000 for a piece of land, the same piece of land I was gonna have to build on. So yeah.
What the fuck? All right. Yeah, it is a decent home for under 90K. So Sneed asks, what about online dating? Have you used online dating your time here in Brazil?
Nah, man. You know what? I'm not good at the whole Tinder stuff. Like my pictures are probably whack and my bio is whack, or whatever. I don't know. I'm not I'm not good with any of that stuff, bro. I tried. I got like one girl to come out, but she was hella awkward and like I just deleted it after that. I was like, man, this shit ain't even worth it. So I just started meeting chicks at bars or like at sambas. Like I'm telling you, man, sambas, bro, you don't need online dating, bro. If you know Portuguese, if you know decent Portuguese, and you go to a samba and you're looking fresh, women. What I've noticed, women don't look at ugly dudes, bro. They just don't. They don't want that attention. Imagine it's like you going out and a big ugly girl looking at you, bro. You don't want that, bro. Like you
Yeah.
don't want her looking at you, and you don't want to make eye contact, right? So it's the same thing with women here, bro. And like when you see a fine woman looking at you, bro, she wants you, dog. She wants you. And you can tell easy off the bat if she just wants you for money or she's actually interested in you. It's easy. It's not even that hard. So for me, I don't use dating apps. I just go to sambas. I go to pagojis, which is like a lighter samba. I go to where else do I go that women at? I go to like festivals. Like they have the festival of June, Festa Juninho, which is like it's like a country
In June.
festival.
Yeah, June. It's like a farmers festival.
Yeah, it's like a farmers festival. And there's women out there looking. Like anywhere you go where there's parties and music and dancing going on, women are looking, bro. It's like a layup. It's literally a layup.
Online dating for me, I could write a book on online dating here in Sao Paulo. Boy, I feel like I could write a book. I feel like I've never been. I feel. They make me feel like a high school chick out here, bro. The way I get hit and quit a few times, or
Bro.
just hit up randomly for ass, and then they just disappear. Like golly, online dating here is all right. You can have some good conversations, meet some decent people, but it's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just too old. I just have too much of an old vibe, old style where like women on the dating apps are just like, nah. But then when I'm out in public, like they all looking at me and shit all the time. Oh, and also don't be sleeping on these old women out here, bro, because they're bad.
Oh boy,
They're bad, bro.
oh
I'm
boy.
telling you, most women I hooked up with here have been like 45, 44, 43, 38, and they're all baddies. Like my girlfriend now, I'm 35, she's 41. She's still bad, bro. No kids. bad as hell. Like, yeah. So
So
don't be sleeping on women.
old women are the way to go.
Man, I'm telling because they don't play no games. They like you. They like you. They're not into the whole like playing games stuff. They're like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? Blah blah blah. I've had these old women come over. Like I've been over to their places. They cooked for me. It was like it was rainy that day. She washed my clothes same night, bro. Made me breakfast and then sent me on my way back to my apartment, bro. Like, yeah, man. Don't be sleeping on these old women, dog.
I don't know, bro. I just feel like weird, bro. Like I mess with like this one lawyer chick out here, and she's about 35, and I just felt like not even like icky, just like weird, bro. Like especially like with women.
I've had one. Yeah, I've had one that was way older and the energy was off. It was giving me like mom vibes, and it was like, yo, I can't do this no more. I feel that.
I don't know. I can't like even
But
like I just hit my 30s, so now I'm like, all right, looking at girls like 31, 32, 33, but golly, it feels awkward. But I'm glad you having success with the old women out here in Brazil. Shout out to the grandmas. Shout out to the yeah, and
no,
like you
man,
said,
they be chilling, bro. They just like, hey, what are you doing? Like, I want to see you tonight, and then you hang out there. You guys link up that night, and then you just go home, and there's no relationship. You don't want no relationship. You just want to hang out with you every weekend and just have a good time. That's it. You know what I mean?
mhm. All right, so you have a girlfriend now, and you
Yeah.
prefer meeting people. So I'm pretty sure you heard of the movement where guys want to leave the states and find their significant other, find their partner in other countries. Do you think that's possible here in Brazil? Like, say
Oh,
you're a guy like late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s, late 30s, and you're like, you know what? I can't get married in the states, or because you just don't know anybody's motives. You divorce, you lose half your shit. You're married, you lose half your shit. Nowadays, it's like how much you make, what are you bringing to the table, where's your house, what are you paying, what are you buying, and can you pay this bill? Is it possible to come find? I'm not gonna say Brazil because I'm not gonna put that fucking.
right.
I'm not gonna put that on Brazil. I don't want y'all coming down here. But is it possible, in your opinion, as a Navy vet who's traveled the world, to leave the country and find better elsewhere? To leave the states and find better elsewhere?
Oh, definitely, bro. Definitely. I mean, you still gotta be aware of people's motives because depending on the person's social status of when you met them, you gotta take that into account. Or like, are they well off? Is their family well off, or are they like poor? Or, you know what I mean? Like not poor, but low income. But like from what I've the women I've met, bro, like definitely, bro, like um I met like a lot of really good women here. The woman I'm with now, bro, is like everything I could have asked for, bro. She don't ask me for jack. She don't ask me for nothing, like nothing at all. And I don't. It's not like I go crazy when I'm with her. I splurge a little bit because she's my woman, but at the same time, she's not like, oh, can we go here or blah blah blah, or like she doesn't order the most expensive things. Um, from what I've seen here, and this is the only country I've been dating in, but from what I've seen in other countries too, like the women here, like they generally are into you. They're not asking you how much do you make. They're not asking you like what kind of car you drive and all these things. And they just if they like you, they genuinely like you. Like it's genuine, and you can feel that. Um, as far as in like divorce laws and stuff, from what I've heard in Brazil, it's almost kind of the same here as in the United States. But you can get what is it's kind of like a prenup, but it's much stronger. It's not like because I've heard online, like in the U.S., like you can get a prenup, but it doesn't mean jack. They can still get half your stuff, but.
Do
Yeah.
Brazilian relationships seem strong to you? You know, because they're definitely what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, they're definitely a caring culture.
Yeah. You know what, man? That's it's kind of a weird thing because it's like, okay, like I seen the couples here, the Brazilian couples here, and it's strong. Like the connection is strong. Husband and wife is strong. But from my American female friends, from what they've told me, and maybe they just do this to the Brazilian men do this to them, but like it's almost expected that the man is going to cheat at one point or another. Like it's just expected. And I don't know, man. It's just weird. Like I really don't have a whole handle on it, like on that kind of on the relationship culture here. But it's almost normal. Like eventually, like he's gonna cheat or something.
Has classism affected you at all in your time here, or like thrown you off? I think that's another culture shock here. Just like
Yeah,
also you could say classism and racism almost go hand in hand.
it is. It is. Yeah, yeah. You know what's funny, man? Oh my god, bro. So I'm in California, where I'm from in Bakersfield. I'm considered black, right? I know that's weird. But when I come here, I'm considered white. And so that throws me like really off. Like I'm deathly afraid of the police. You know, I'm from Bakersfield, California. They shoot people just for you pulling out your cell phone. So when I came here, I was definitely afraid of the police. And people were telling me like, "Why are you so scared of the cops?" I was like, bro, like I'm black. And they're like, "You're not black here," so that messed me up. And then and my neighborhood, right, I'm considered rich because I'm American. But based on the way sometimes that I dress, if I go to like rich neighborhoods, they think I'm poor. They think like I'm gonna steal something. So like there's a neighborhood up here behind my house. It's all Italians, right? And anytime I go into a grocery store there, or a restaurant there, like they guard the doors. The people that work there guard the doors. So they think I'm gonna break out and steal something. Like it's crazy, bro. So yeah, classism is like heavy here. You gotta dress like you got money. You gotta talk and walk like you got money. If you talk any other way in those certain areas, they automatically label you as poor.
Yeah, that has it been thrown in your face?
Yeah, I got denied at an Italian restaurant up here. I walked in with like some sneakers. They were a little bit beat up, and I walked in with some shorts, t-shirt, and a hat, like a cap. And the dude was like, he had like two families sitting down in the restaurant. And I was like, hey, I spoke in Portuguese. I was like, hey, is it okay if I can order something here? Are you guys on break? He's like, oh no, well, like we're on break right now. And I was just like, okay, but you got two families eating there. And as soon as I said that, another couple walks in behind me and he lets them through. And then he blocks the entrance for me to get in. And I was like, well, can I eat here or not? He's like, no, we're closed. And I was like, all right. So I put on like my really nice clothes, right? And I walked up like the next day, and the dude lets me through. And I was just like, bruh, like it just threw me off so bad. I was like, one day you're gonna deny me, and the next day you're gonna let me in. And then sometimes I've noticed if you speak English, people will treat you like 10 times better than if you spoke Portuguese.
I don't try to speak English.
I don't try to either. I hate it because it like they treat you way differently. But like sometimes I notice if you speak English, they'll treat you 10 times better. Like they'll give you the seat that you want. You know, they'll serve you faster and stuff. I don't like it, but sometimes I just gotta do it.
Nah, my experience with classism here, I just learned not to give a fuck about it. So I'll go to JK Eagle Tell Mall whenever I need to buy cologne. I'll go to the Chanel store there, bro. I make sure I wear like the craziest shit, so I could go
Yeah,
there. I'll go there like fucking shorts and Crocs or and
yeah,
or whatever, and then I'm just walking in and out of the Chanel store, and people are looking like. Or I go to the movie theater there because the movie theater is nice as hell, very nice. The Sinopolis,
I ain't been there yet.
but you know it's like yo, I don't. If only these people knew like how much we make, like they. But I'm not here to get in like a money fight war and shit. But
Right.
my problem is the classism comes from the rich people and the poor people, right?
Yeah,
and,
you
it,
get
and,
it
it,
from
and, it,
both
and, it,
sides.
and not even poor. I won't even say poor. I would say low income. I would to the
Right.
point they show ignorance because for me, I've had experiences here from people um, that's giving me issues for me wanting to enjoy myself. Like, oh, why are you going to that restaurant? When you go to this one, oh, why are you going to that bar? Why you go to this one? Why are you going to that party? Why are you in this neighborhood? Why are you living there?
Yeah.
It's like, why does that affect you? Like, there was this one girl I went out with in January, right?
Hmm.
J- And she was somebody I ended up cutting off too. Um, but just like I don't know if I would call this a jab, but from time to time, she would always mention, "Oh, your rent is more than what I make a month."
Bruh.
Why is that necessary? Why is that an issue? Why is that necessary?
Right.
Or one time, as a surprise, I took her to my favorite restaurant. I went to Barbacoa. Bitch was heated. Like, oh, I'm not ready for this. Too much rich people here. Blah blah blah. Da da da. This and that. I feel uncomfortable. And that's the second time. Like, bro, I've had somebody tell me, "Oh, I feel uncomfortable going to this movie theater because of the mall it's in." I'm like, yo, what does it matter? You're living your life.
Yeah. Like,
I'm like, yo, live your life how you're supposed to. Stop giving a fuck about other people.
bruh.
This restaurant, this movie theater, this apartment, that. Bro, it's like I get it. You're working hard, income ain't the greatest, whatever. But if you have the chance to do something a little bit out of the ordinary for you,
Right.
accept it.
Right.
Don't complain about it. Be humble. Appreciate the time, the moment you're in, and keep it moving. But like to me, I feel like people like that, good shit ain't ever gonna come because it's
Right.
gonna be like something negative, like oh, rich people this, rich people that. Like yo, I'm not rich. You're not
Right.
rich. We just are able to have a lifestyle where we could decide, all right, you know what? I'm gonna go to the movie theater of the reclining chairs. I'm gonna go to the movie theater of the rocking chair. That hurts after 30
Mhm.
minutes.
Right. Right.
We have the option, but I just hate that, like when people throw that in your face.
Yeah. I used to get that all the time when I would like, cause I got a bar like right across my apartment complex. And like sometimes I buy new clothes, but all my clothes that I bought were from Bryce. And I don't know if the chat knows, but Bryce, it's a bunch of knockoff clothes there. So all my clothes were hella cheap. They just looked like they were expensive. They weren't expensive at all. And so I would just come back like every 2 weeks with like a new pair of shirts, new pair of shoes or whatever. And people like, damn, like, did you buy this at shopping? Where did you buy this? And I was just like, I bought this at Bryce. And they're like, you're an American. Like, why would you buy clothes there? And I'm like, why not? It's cheap and it looks good. Like, I don't. And then I would drink like Coronas, and Coronas here, they're expensive for like the average Brazilian. It's like 15 reais. So it's like $3, but it's like expensive for them. I just drink Coronas because I like Coronas. They're like, man, look at this rich American drinking these Coronas, and I'm just like, bro, like y'all tripping, bro. Like, relax, dog.
Bro,
So
if it's one thing, I'm happy that I moved to like a cheaper area. I moved out of the like. Don't get me wrong. It was cool living in Moema and Brooklyn and stuff, but like after a while, you notice, yeah, I'm like the only black guy in my building. That's okay. It doesn't bother me, but it's like, yo, I'm not gonna pay to like keep up with people
right,
or it's obvious like okay, this guy has to be an American or something for him to be living here. But I'm so
right,
happy. You've been to the crib. I'm so happy in Tatuape, bro. Like all the botegas around, the schools around, things is cheaper.
right. That's how I am too, bro. Like my neighborhood is like it's like people have more than like the low income people, but they're not like snobby about it. They're not like class. They're not really classist about it. They're just like down to earth, hardworking people, and they're like that's my people. That's how I came up in Bakersfield. Like we don't have much, but we're hardworking and we got enough, and so that's how my hood is, and I really enjoy that.
Mm. Yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. But yeah, man, yo, so we're about to hit the hour 30-minute mark. If anybody has any questions, something that we may have skipped over for basically guidance living in Brazil, if you have any questions for me or Vlad, drop them right now. But Vlad, I appreciate your time tonight. But what are like some closing points, and what are some things you're looking forward to as your time continues here in Brazil? So what are like some short term goals for you, some long terms, and fun wise, what do you what is considered fun for you?
Fun for me, man, is exploring, man. I think that's like the coolest thing to do. Like, especially here in Sao Paulo, because every neighborhood is different, bro. Every neighborhood has a different vibe, different types of people. Especially like exploring Brazil is going to be like the most fun. That's probably the most fun I've ever had is like traveling in Brazil, like going to Minas Gerais, going to Vitoria, going to Ceará. Once my house is being done built, which is my short term goal, probably be done in like 6 or 8 months from next month. But after that, I'm gonna explore everywhere in Brazil, like the Amazon. I'm gonna go to Belo Horizonte. I'm gonna go to the south. I'm going everywhere. And then after that, it's just seeing on whatever countries I want to go visit. You know what I mean? Um, South America, I want to go throughout South America first, and then I want to go to Europe and Africa and Asia. And then after all that's said and done, I'm done. I'm gonna relax. That traveling kills me, bro. Like it'd be like 6 hours on the bus and just be one person doing something, making some kind of noise. Not, I'm like an old dude, bro. I'm an old man. If I hear you, I don't know. I heard somebody suck their teeth one time. Like they ate something and had to suck their teeth. I look back, I'm like, bitch, why aren't you quiet, bro? Like that's just nasty. I want to hear your mouth. You know what I mean? Like, because I was going to Rio so often, bro. I just got tired of like little things. I was getting irritated. So yeah, bro.
It might be
I
time
think
for you to
another,
take a break from Rio.
what's that?
Might
How
be
was my
time.
time?
Might be time
What's
for you to
that?
take a break from Rio.
Yeah, bro. I definitely think it is a time to take a break from Rio, bro. Um, one thing I love to do to once you know enough Portuguese, one of my favorite things to do here is go to like a little small bar with like some pool tables or a pool table and just talk shit. Just like it's like literally it's like the equivalent of just going to the barber shop, bro, with like a bunch of old dudes and just talking mad shit about sports. It's the same thing. It's the same vibe. You're drinking, they got a card table, people playing cards, people are smoking, talking shit about America. You're talking shit about Brazil, playing pool. It's just dope, bro. I love that. I love that vibe. That's my favorite thing. I suck at pool. I'm bad. I'm bad, but I love playing.
Man, if there's one thing Brazil definitely doesn't have a shortage of, is bars.
Yeah, there's bars like every other corner. There's a street down here. My homegirl and her husband have one bar, and then their best friend has a bar like right next to it. So you have the choice between two bars, and they never fight or argue over clients. But it's like that's just Brazil, bro. That's just how Brazil works.
I think one thing that'll throw people off here, especially for Sao Paulo, the infrastructure is great.
Yeah, it's
The
really
infrastructure
good.
is great, and there's always something to do.
Mhm.
That's what keeps me like what do I do? Do I stay? Do I go? There's always something to do here in Sao Paulo.
Yep. Food festivals. There's parades. There's art galleries, there's museums, there's sambas. I remember like I found a samba like for every day of the week in my neighborhood for like 2 months straight. It was wild. It wasn't even carnival. It was just people were just having sambas left and right everywhere. I think I spent too much money those 2 months.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
So when you move back up north, if you feel like you're missing the city or you don't like it enough, would you ever move back, or would you go find another city that could replicate the feeling that you had here in Sao Paulo?
I think Man, I don't know because I still haven't checked out. There's a lot of places I still haven't checked out yet that I heard are like really nice. Like like Victoria, I really didn't get to explore Victoria, but Victoria was really nice. Belo
Mhm.
Horizonte, I heard like shit. I'd have to do some research first, man, because it's also kind of hard to start over again. You know what I mean? Like once you build that like sense of community, it took me 2 years to get that kind of sense of community and family here in Bishiga. All by myself, mind you, as well, which is really difficult. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I really have to think about it. I know my girl, she lives in Rio. If we're still together, I don't know. She wants me to move to Rio, but I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, okay,
I ain't really feeling Rio like that.
yeah, okay.
But I think maybe. I mean, it's a big chance. Sao Paulo be my number one choice. It all depends, man. It all depends on if I sell my house or not, or I keep it and just live in an apartment in another city or Airbnb somewhere for a while. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah, man. And the Expat Brazil page, are you in that one?
Yeah, yeah, I'm in that one. Yeah,
And then I recently I found out like there's a black expats Brazil page, which
yeah.
is
Like,
pretty cool.
I thought you'd be in there because that expat community is really dope, man.
Yeah, I am in there.
Oh, okay, okay.
So just recently, like December, I joined that one.
Yeah, I've been in that one. Actually, before I even got here, Phil. I don't know if you know Phil, but Phil added me in there when I was first moving here,
Okay,
and we
all
was
right.
linking up and
Okay.
stuff.
Have you heard of a city called Bombinhas?
Bombinas? No.
I think it might be in the south. Let me see, Bombinhas. But it looks pretty cool. It's around Ipanema. Let me see where that is. Santa Catarina. That's south, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's south.
Yeah. So
It
that's the
seems
place.
dope. Or what?
Is that places where we should avoid in Brazil? People of our color.
I wouldn't say avoid because it's not like the American South. You know what I mean? It's not like in the heart of Mississippi or West Virginia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, you're definitely going to get some cold stares or whatever, some looks. But I don't, it's not going to be like West Virginia.
Yeah.
I'll
Because
say it'd be cool to visit, but not to live.
somebody just posted a dope picture in the expat group, so it kind of caught my attention. But bro, my goal is to like find like a random state or city, like going up to Paraguay and just kick it there, just live there in Brazil, bro. Because Brazil is so huge, and especially like
Yeah,
once you have the language, um, down south, Rick is saying yes. Okay. Yeah, once you have the language down pack, man, it's like yo, you could literally go anywhere.
yeah, bro.
Anywhere.
That's how I feel,
You, you
man.
probably
Like,
you probably the only foreigner in your city.
yeah, that speaks, Portuguese that well too. Like, I remember I was in Victoria with my friend, and he had went back to the his family's house because we were staying in a room in his family's house. He went back to the room, and I was at the beach just kicking and drinking. I was just talking to people there, and they're like, "Wait, where are you from? Like, you got a different accent." I was like, "Oh, I'm from America." They're like, "Oh, for real? We thought you were Brazilian. Like, you speak so well." And next thing you know, like, I got all their Instagrams, like 5, 6 people's Instagrams. They're like, "Yeah, whenever you're back in Victoria, like, come kick it." Brazilians are just like that, man. They're dope, bro.
Hold on. China has a project for Minas Gerais. Bro, China is taking over the world.
Bro, they taking over every Africa,
Bro, when
anywhere,
I
bro.
tell you world domination, bro, they took over DR. They took over the Dominican Republic. When I was in Colombia, I seen them start to take over. Brazil too, but I mean, golly, what I don't know what
Yeah.
project they got, but they taking over the world. It's world domination.
It's got to be like infrastructure or something. I know in the UK, a lot of Chinese like billionaires are taking over the UK with like the football clubs there, the soccer team.
He
It's
says
going
it's
to be
gonna
like
be
style.
Dubai, $1.8 trillion.
Man, they're doing the same thing as Seara, but I don't think it's Chinese. It's Europeans that are taking over Seara.
Mm.
It's a lot of Italians and Germans that are investing over there. Like my the company that owns the condominium that I'm living in, they're from Hungary or something like that. They got like huge hotels in Hungary and Germany.
Uh,
So yeah,
sheesh. Damn. Well, I don't know what to say about that. I'm not surprised.
I'm not
I'm
surprised.
I'm not surprised about China. But yo, pull up next month, end of May, to the Northeast. I'm gonna go out there for like a week.
All right.
Parabia. I already got my flight, so try to pull up, bro. I'm
Yeah,
going.
just let me know the dates, man, and I'll let you know if I can go because it depends. Like I wasn't expecting to spend so much like on the materials, but it's a lot more than what I thought it was.
Yeah, I can imagine. I fly out May 31st.
Okay.
Yeah. And then my other boy, my other Navy vet boy from Rio should be coming too. But yeah, it'll be dope. Like the three of us go out there because he wants to move from Rio, and then I was trying to convince him to move to Sao Paulo, but he's like, he needs a beach. So
Uh,
we about to go northeast. But yeah, he's been living in Rio like 4 years. And, one of these nights I'm hoping to get him on the channel. But uh, yeah, definitely looking for another spot. So we're going to go do some recon. And
okay.
definitely try to pull up for that one, bro.
Yeah, man, I'll be down, man. I'll let you know.
Mhm. And then my last question: you gonna be going to that NFL game in September?
Man, I want to so bad, bro. Especially it's my birthday month too. Man, that'd be dope. Yeah, I'm trying to find out how much those tickets are, man.
Hey, listen, man. I don't care if I don't know. I gotta go. I know I'm going. 100%.
Yeah,
I don't know what's it gonna cost, but I know I gotta go. Can't
I
miss that.
got
First game in Brazil, bro. Can't
right. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be lit for sure.
can't
It's
miss
gonna
that,
be
bro. The first week, two good teams.
yeah.
Nah,
It's
bro,
gonna be nuts.
definitely gonna have to go to
Try,
that game.
I'll find out.
Definitely find out. We have that stay backstage. I'm about to end the show. Thank you guys for all who's watched, who dropped in. Make sure you guys like the video on your way in, on your way out. Stay tuned for the next lives. I'm sorry for disappearing. It's just like I was just in that funk where it's like I didn't really want to do anything YouTube wise, and just appreciate more of the moment that I'm in, where I'm living, what I'm doing. But I'm setting up like a office streaming room type stuff, trying to get some guests. The guests are hard because like one thing we ain't mentioned in the vlog is how you set up an appointment here in Brazil with somebody, and then if it fucking drizzles, canceled.
Yeah,
The wind blows, canceled. Shit gets canceled a lot here. Shit gets front on a lot here. Whether it's, I want to say professionally, more like on friends term, dating terms. Prepare to get you know left hung out to dry a lot.
yeah.
Definitely, it's one thing that I can't get used to. I can't get used to that shit.
Yeah, me neither. It's weird.
But it's expected. They expect it. And it's kind of like they try to like say, oh, it's the culture. If it cancels, it cancels. Or if I don't answer, I don't answer. Like nah, I rather
Yeah,
not. I won't give my energy to that. Like I just had that happen the other day. Uh, with a girl where we were supposed to go out, and then she hasn't answered like a day, and then she wrote back in the late night like, "Oh, I had this thing where I was like, I just didn't want to hear from anybody. I just gave it a thumbs up, and I just left it alone. Left it alone.
yeah. It's
On,
better to get alone.
on to the next, bro. If there's one thing I learned, you can't force people to take your time.
Right,
Like you can't force people to want to be around you or anything like that.
right.
Nah, so that's what. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you guys hit the notification bell. Get ready for the next live. And until next time.